Okay, so today we are going to be word detectives, okay? We are going to, I know yesterday you talked a little bit with Ms. Olmedo about context clues, right? Yes? Okay. Context clues are when an author gives you hints that help you with difficult or unusual words in the story, okay? So we're going to look at this anchor chart of our little word detective right here, and we're going to learn about some different context clues that we can use while we're reading to help us with difficult words, okay? Ready? All right. So the first one we're going to talk about, we can come down here with you guys, is let's do definition first. I think everyone knows what a definition is, right? It gives us the meaning of a word, correct? So everyone turn to your partner and say definition gives the meaning. Is the meaning of the word. Okay, turn it back to me. Let's talk about jump. Back up here, guys. Let's read this one. Now, Emmy, will you read the words in blue for me? The whole thing?
The marsh
Correct.
or swamp was a wet and muggy place.
Good job. So for this one, we're talking about definition. So the marsh. The marsh. Can anyone tell me what they think the definition of marsh is using our context clues in this sentence? Go ahead.
Was a wet and muggy place.
Right, so marsh is a wet and muggy place. Evan. Let's go on to word parts, okay? Word parts. So a word part is there a helpful prefix or suffix or root word? Does everyone know what a prefix and suffix is? No? So let's look here. So for helpful, I have full highlighted, okay? So full means full of. So if I look at this whole word, what does helpful mean? Chase.
When somebody's asking you to do something and you do it, that's being helpful.
Right. So using our context clues right here, we can say, yes, Naomi?
It's helpful is also a word, like, if you do something while nobody asks you to, and then, like nobody tells you to do it, and nobody's watching, but they still catch you doing it, and, like, cleaning up our earth, and respecting each other.
Right. So they are full of help. So this is a suffix right here. Full. It helps us understand what the whole word means. Okay? So let's look at this prefix at the front of the word. Suffix is at the end, prefix is in the beginning. Rewrite. Means to do again. So what do we think rewrite means? Ada?
We do the like you do.
So
I'm not saying don't rewrite it. This is the mistake that you make.
to rewrite. To write again, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Good job. So we're going to look at word parts when we're reading our passages to help us and use our detective skills to find out what the tricky word might mean, okay? Let's go over here to examples, and then after that we're going to talk about synonyms and antonyms. And I know you've kind of heard those words a little bit before. Let's talk about examples. So key words that we're looking for when we're looking at a passage that has examples is the word like, such as, or. Okay? So, who wants to read this sentence? Let me go back to the back. Evan, can you read this sentence for me?
A device such as a phone or
MP3.
MP3 player can be expensive.
Expensive, good job. So what are our key example terms that we should be looking for. Let's go over here to Nate. Do you see any example words that we should be looking for to help us in this?
The such as and or.
Right, because right after such as, a device such as a phone is an example, or an MP3 player, which is kind of like an iPod, is an example of a device as well. Okay, thumbs up if we get that one. Thumbs up. Good job. Let's go down here to synonym and antonym. Synonym. Everyone turn to your partner again and say, a synonym is the same.
A synonym is the same.
That's a tricky word to say, isn't it?
A synonym.
People say synonym. Oh, people say synonym.
Synonym. Okay. Cinnamon.
If I was a baby, I would
Naomi.
probably call it cinnamon.
I'm gonna have, go ahead, Anthony. Let's read this sentence for me.
Fox raced swiftly
Good job.
through the trees and flew out of sight.
Okay. So in this sentence, we have an example of a synonym. Because this word right here is a little bit tricky. Do we all agree? It's kind of a tricky word. Swiftly. So reading this sentence, the fox raced swiftly. Just those few words. What do we think swiftly means? Olivia, haven't heard from you yet.
Maybe it like
So if we're
tried
thinking,
to.
sorry, go ahead.
Maybe it means try to run really fast or was speeding.
Okay, and why do we think that? Because if we're looking here, synonym is the same. What's a synonym in the sentence of swiftly? Go ahead.
Race.
Raced. Swiftly means raced, went very fast. The fox raced swiftly through the trees and flew out of sight. So did the fox go slow or did the fox go fast?
Fast.
Synonym is the same. Say it with me. Synonym is the same. Good job. Antonym. Turn to your partner again. Antonym is the opposite.
Antonym is the opposite.
All right, back up here with me. I'm going to have, go ahead, Phoenix. Phoenix, will you read this sentence for me of an antonym?
She knew the cup wasn't fragile.
Good job.
When she felt it, sturdy handle and thick sides.
Good job. So antonym is the opposite. So we're looking for something opposite. In this sentence, that's going to help us as a context clue. We're detectives, remember? As a context clue for the word fragile. Anthony?
Old.
Old? What makes you think old? Fragile. She knew the cup wasn't fragile when she felt its sturdy handle and thick sides. Want to call on a friend? Friend a friend?
Maybe it means like it's glass.
Okay. And what makes you think that? Since we're talking about antonyms, the opposite. So what makes you think that it might be glass?
Because like maybe if you drop it, it might break.
Okay. So in this sentence, it says, she knew the cup wasn't fragile, so it wasn't fragile, when she felt its sturdy handle. So sturdy handle and thick sides is an antonym, the opposite of fragile. So you're right. Fragile is like glass. You break it and it breaks very easily. It's very fragile. And by looking at this, we know that when she felt its sturdy handle and thick sides, that's an antonym for fragile. Okay? We're going to to read a little bit of a book, Fishes. I think you guys may have read a little bit of it. And I'm going to give you an example, and then you're going to have a chance to turn and talk to your partner about what context clue they might be using in the book, okay? Let's look up here for a second. We're going to go here. Some fishes are very large, and some are very small. A whale shark is longer than 2 school buses. And this is a sentence I really want you to listen to and think about your context clues. Be a detective here for a minute. A dwarf pygmy gubby is about the size of an eraser on a pencil. I'm going to say that again so that you can be detectives for a minute and listen to this. A dwarf pygmy guppy is about the size of the eraser on a pencil. Okay, let's turn and talk for a minute to your partner about what context clue you used to understand what the size or a dwarf. A dwarf. What the size of a dwarf is. Okay? What is a dwarf? Turn and talk to your partner.
It has an example of it compares. I know, but I'm wondering which eraser pencil, the one that actually comes with the pencil, or those little eraser pencils that you buy.
Well, it says contact with pencil, so I think.
No, it says that's on a pencil, and you could put those little eraser things that you buy on a pencil.
Okay, thumbs up if everyone got to talk to their partner about what a dwarf is and what context clues we use from the book. Everyone did? Okay. Chase, can you tell me what context clues from our little word detective up here you may have used to figure out what a dwarf is?
A dwarf is a little tiny fish as small as a eraser on a pencil.
Okay, and so it's pretty small, right? A dwarf is pretty small. It's a small fish. Okay, so thinking about that, what context clues did you use?
So I used opposites because that one's big and that one's small.
Oh, you looked at the pictures. Okay. Did anyone else, looking at the words, maybe find a different context clue that they might have used? Thomas?
I saw the example
The example.
because that's as small as an eraser on a pencil.
Right. So there was an example there. So we're looking here, okay? It's about the size of the eraser on a pencil. I'm going to call on one more person. Maybe they figured it out a different way. Go ahead.
I use the dwarf pygmy gubby
Mm-hmm.
because usually I know dwarfs are a type of fish and they're really small.
Okay.
And like just big, like an eraser and a pencil, just like Thomas said. But it's kind of different way. But usually dwarfs, in the 7th, there is their little outfit that has.
So you used some previous knowledge. You brought in some previous knowledge to help you figure that out. And you can do that too, okay? So how do we feel about context clues? I think everyone should be thumbs up on this one. Maybe in the middle. We're going to practice it a little bit, okay? How do we feel about that? We're going to practice it. I'm going to give you this worksheet. Everyone pay attention up here for a minute because you're not going to do the whole thing. You're just going to do the top section, okay? So it says directions. Determine the meaning of the unknown word and write it on the line following the sentence. Underline clues within the sentence, context clues that might be in there, and label the type of clue that was provided. So you can pick, was it provided by a definition, a synonym, an antonym, or an example? So you're going to write the definition, and you're going to write which context clue you use. So now we're really going to have to try out our detective skills here and do this worksheet, okay? So let's go ahead and have green and orange. Go ahead, go back to your seat, and I'll pass these out to you, okay? Let's do it quietly.